Welcome to Spring LIB.
Okay, we're looking at several structures. I'm going to draw them in bond line format. Just a little cleaner and easier to look at. That's structure 1, structure 2, structure 3, and structure 4. And we need to determine which of these will have splitting in their proton NMR spectrum. So recall that you get splitting whenever you've got hydrogens on neighboring carbons. So this hydrogen, the signal for it would be split by this hydrogen and vice versa. So we'll just go through here and add in our hydrogens and see if they have neighbors. There's 3 hydrogens here. Do they have any neighbors? Well, we look at the neighboring carbon and I don't see any bonds to hydrogen. Let's continue adding in our hydrogens. No neighbors yet. That's all of our hydrogens, and not a single hydrogen is attached to a carbon, which is attached to a carbon that has a bond to hydrogen. So there are no splitting patterns for the signals for structure 1. You'll notice this is called a T-butyl group, and these are both T-butyl groups. Basically, all of these methyls have hydrogens on the end, but this carbon doesn't have any hydrogens, so therefore those hydrogens won't be split. So I'm not going to draw on the rest of those hydrogens. Suffice it to say that these will not have splitting patterns. Okay, let's continue onward to the rest of the molecule. This carbon has only bonds to oxygen. That's just an oxygen with no hydrogens, but there is a CH2 here, right? And there is a CH3 here. Finally, we have hydrogens on neighboring carbons, right? Hydrogen, and really you can count the bonds. You can say hydrogen bound to carbon, that's 1 bond. Carbon bound to carbon, that's 2 bonds. And carbon bound to hydrogen, that's 3 bonds. 3 bonds away, right? Just like this. Hydrogen 3 bonds away from hydrogen will split, and we have hydrogens 3 bonds away from other hydrogens. So this will have splitting in its pattern. Okay, let's continue adding hydrogens to structure 3. 3 hydrogens here, but there's no hydrogens on a neighboring carbon, so those aren't split. And we have another T-butyl, and therefore there's no splitting here either. Okay, finally, structure 4. Well, we've got a methyl here, but it's neighboring an oxygen with no hydrogens. And finally, okay, there's 1 hydrogen here, and oh, there we go. There's what we were looking for. A hydrogen that's 1, 2, 3 bonds away from another hydrogen. And there's 2 here, 2 here, 2 here, and 2 here. So there'll be all kinds of splitting going on here. So structures 2 and 4 have splitting in their H&MR patterns.